Hey everyone, this is Pete, and welcome back to Evercade A to Z, the series of explorations of the games for Blaze's Evercade retro gaming platform. Today's game is Racing Fever, which was a 2005 release originally for Game Boy Advance. It was developed by Nap's team and published by Neko Entertainment, and it's part of the Pico Interactive Collection 2 cartridge for Evercade. And you notice I've gone back to saying Pico, because after the last Pico video, I was corrected that in Spanish, pi is indeed pronounced P, so it's Pico. Now, Racing Fever is a pretty obvious clone of Gaelco's World Rally from 1993, although there were a number of other isometric perspective races around at the time too. It's a very obscure game, likely due to the fact that it was only ever released in Europe, and to give you an idea of how obscure it really is, it's not even listed on sites like Moby Games or Wikipedia. So let's go check it out. Let's go play Racing Fever.
Okay, here we are once again with the Evercade VS, this time taking a look at the Pico Interactive Collection 2 cartridge and Racing Fever from 2005. It's time to put the pedal to the metal and peel out in one of 6 luxurious sports cars. Each of these powerful speedsters has its own strengths and weaknesses. Choose your favourite, pick the colour of the paint and prepare yourself for Racing Fever. Tour the world and put your skills to the test against other racers who will do anything to leave you choking on their dust. Race on a variety of tracks and locales, manoeuvring around hairpin turns, blazing down straightaways and weaving between your opponents. There's only room at the top for one. Racing Fever is a 32-bit top-down racer where you compete against 3 other opponents on a wide array of courses. The road twists and turns as you go, requiring quick reflexes to skillfully navigate the course. The controls are simple, but keeping a handle on your powerful ride while the other cars are hogging the road is another matter entirely. Whether you're looking for a quick race or planning to settle in for a full tour, Racing Fever is a perfect slice of rip-roaring road racing. Now, this game is quite simple and in some respects almost feels a bit unfinished, but I do quite like it. It turns out I quite liked it because it's got a lot in common with Gaelco's World Rally, which we will come to in quite a few weeks looking at the shelf. But yeah, it's a fun racing game. Right, so what cars have we got? Grip, Speed and Ack. That's clearly much better. Well, let's have the obvious best one. And let's have it in bright pink, because why not? Track 1. And off we go. Whoops. Right, the reason I say this is quite like World Rally is because of the handling. World Rally has this system where you sort of snap. Oh god, I'm oversteering ridiculously. World Rally has this sort of system where you snap to the road. And this very much has that as well. It's not quite as pronounced as it is in World Rally, but it's still very obviously present, and it makes it much easier to handle it. Once you've got your head round how sensitive the controls actually are, it makes it much easier to handle than a lot of other top-down races. Which is good, because this goes at a fair old lick, as you can see, and you can't see that far ahead of you. The one thing that World Rally does have that I wish this one had is the sort of co-driver feature where it indicates what the upcoming corners are. But aside from that, I think this is a really enjoyable top-down racer. And like a lot of the games on the Pico 2 cartridge, I'd never heard of this before. But I think if I'd had this on my Game Boy Advance back in the day, I think I would have really enjoyed this. As simple as it is. As you see, there's no real sort of options or anything beyond the basic racing. But really, for a handheld game of the era, that's kind of just what you wanted, really. You just wanted something you could jump right into and not have to worry about save games and setting things up and options and customization. This is literally just pick a car, off you go. And it's all the better for it, I say. Now, obviously, if you're familiar with World Rally is still much better than this. But if you enjoy World Rally and you want more, this is certainly an ideal companion piece, as it were. I might have made life a bit too easy for myself by picking the obviously best car. Let's look at the meter at the top of the screen, how far ahead of everyone else I am. Well, let's keep at it. Track 3! We're into different scenery now. But yeah, once you adjust to that initially really sensitive feeling handling, this feels really good to drive. One thing you might notice as we're playing is that we're technically doing laps of the same course, but the course never actually wraps around and meets itself. In that respect, it's quite similar to Atari's Monte Carlo, which we covered back on the Atari A to Z Flashback series. That was a very early arcade racing game from Atari that didn't get any home ports until the more recent Atari Flashback Classics collections. But that had a very similar idea, where you did multiple laps around a track that never met up with itself. It just kept going on and on, forever onwards and upwards like this one does. But yeah, that's also really fun. I really like that game as well. I think I just like this type of racing game. I didn't used to. I never really used to like top-down racers. And in fact, there's certain types of top-down racer I still don't like all that much. Like stuff like Super Sprint. I just can't get my head around the controls and things. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reset this game and I'm going to try a different car. Because it feels like it's much too easy with that car. So let's pick... Let's go with the GT Advance here. And we'll make it pink again, because it's fun to have a pink car. Right, yeah, we're not so rapid off the starting line with this car. Which means we actually have to work to catch up with first place. That makes things a bit more interesting. And that basically means the cars are kind of a difficulty selection. Still way out in front now. I guess it's being kind to me because it's the first track. Yeah, this strikes me as one of those games that would have probably got fairly mediocre reviews at the time of its original release and would have probably been forgotten about almost immediately after it was reviewed. And I suspect it probably didn't sell very well either, particularly as it only came out in Europe. But in some respects, I like that. This is one of the things I really like about the Evercade as a platform, is that it's not just giving us the games that we've played 1,000 times before. It's also randomizing the order of these tracks, isn't it? That's nice. I think, maybe. I don't remember seeing that harbour before anyway. But yeah, one of my absolute favourite things about the Evercade as a platform is that it's not just another platform where you play Sonic the Hedgehog, Thunder Force, Shining Force, all that sort of thing, and even some stuff that isn't by Sega. No, it's a platform that celebrates the entirety of retro gaming, including the stuff that does not get much attention, or which has not had previous home ports. I've mentioned World Rally with this. World Rally is a really good example of what I'm talking about, because World Rally is a great game, yes. But prior to the Evercade version, there has never been a home version of it. There was nearly a PlayStation version of it, apparently, but that never happened. And so this really great game remained arcade exclusive up until this year. Which is kind of mind-blowing. But now you can play it on your TV, so that's cool. Or indeed on a handheld. Obviously, playing this on the VS, I am playing it on the TV. And although they have big chunky pixels, GBA games actually look pretty nice on the TV. The graphic design of this game is actually quite nice, I think. Because it's got plenty of detail. It's obviously superior to stuff running on lower powered hardware. But it's not overdoing it. It's not trying to cram so many colours in there and use too much dithering to get too much detail. It's got a distinctive look and feel about it that if you're familiar with the platform, you can look at it and go, yeah, Game Boy Advance. I'd actually love to see more Game Boy Advance games get ported to today's platforms, be it Evercade or Switch. Oops. That's what I get for effectively looking out the window while I'm driving. Yeah, whether it's to Evercade or to Switch or any other platform, I'd love to see more GBA games get ported to TV-connected consoles, because it'd be a great opportunity for them to really shine. Now, I suspect what we're probably going to end up with is we're probably going to end up with a Game Boy Advance app on the Switch as part of the Nintendo Switch Online service, which isn't an ideal solution, but it's better than nothing. And also, we're getting stuff like the Castlevania Advance Collection as well. That's really good, because that keeps the games nice and true to their original forms, but also adds just a couple of little extra tweaks. To make them just a little bit more enjoyable. Like in Circle of the Moon, for example, it adds just a little interface element to show whether you've collected a particular card off a type of enemy, and indeed if there is a card available from that particular type of enemy, which is something that wasn't readily accessible in the original GBA version. But yeah, as you can hopefully see from this, GBA games have a lot to offer in terms of visual and auditory appeal. And as cool as the old GBA handhelds were, I think a lot of these games never really had the chance to shine on the old school handheld hardware, on those older LCD screens. There we go, all done. Now, as you can see, I think probably the main flaw with this game is that it's a bit easy. But it's fun. I'm having a good time. It's just enjoyable to race around these tracks, even if it's... oh dear. Even if it's pretty easy to get out in front. In most cases, apparently not on this course. Oh dear. Okay, I spoke way too soon, clearly. Oh dear me. Oh, nearly did it again. Alright, come on, I can catch up. I'm better than this. Oops. Apparently I'm not better than this. Alright, bridge. Move left. There we go. I'm gaining. I'm gonna take you. It's the final lap. Hang in there. Now, question is, do you have to... No! Do you have to win every course in order to continue? Finished in second place. Yeah, you can just carry on. Okay. Oh no, wait, is this the same one? No. It's a different one on the same tile set. So the bridges on this one, we want to try and stay in the middle. There we go. That's fine, I can catch up with first place. Oh! He says, ploughing into a wall. Yeah, what I mean when I say this game feels a little bit unfinished is that, I mean, just like what we just saw, there's no real penalty for not finishing in first place. There's no point system. There's no score system. Basically, it's a nice high-speed racing game, but you find yourself questioning where is the longevity? What is going to keep me coming back to play this other than just the raw experience it offers? Alright, third and fourth are red, so I guess that means if you get third or fourth position, then you are out. On to track 7. But again, if that's the case, there's no real distinction between first and second place, because you don't get any more points for being in first place. So in the case of the hard tracks, you may as well just take aim for second place. This one's not too bad. Whee! Those bridges do quite a bit to sort of throw off your perception, eh? And there's always a corner immediately after them. It's alright, we're holding the lead for now, though. The other thing, of course, is that more than one music track would be nice. I mean, this music track is good. Quite Amiga-ish, which I'm all for. Oops. It just might be nice to hear something else. But like I say, this is part of the beauty of the Evercade, is having the opportunity to see some of these games that maybe weren't the best, or maybe did not make the most of their potential, but which are still fun for one reason or another. Track 8. Don't know how many tracks there are. I won't say we're going to play all of them, because I don't know how many there are, but we'll play a few more at least. See how we get on. Come here, yellow boy. I have you now. Yeah, suck it. That's it. You keep bumping into things and I will scream off into the distance. It's like the opposite of what happens when I play Gran Turismo. I am normally the one smacking into things while everyone else races off into the distance, but in this case, no. I've been playing Gran Turismo 7, by the way. It's very good. And I've been playing it on PS4 as well. If you're curious, it runs just fine on PS4. The graphics obviously aren't quite as nice as the PS5 version. Particularly the replays only run at 30 frames a second, which is a bit of a shame, but they do look lovely. And also there's a bit of sort of pop-in here and there that I presume isn't in the PS5 version. But during racing, you got full 60 frames per second racing action. It plays great with the Logitech G29. And I'm having far more fun with it than I've had with any other Gran Turismo. Mostly because of the steering wheel, I have to say. Because it turns out a steering wheel really does make a big difference to simulation races in particular. Arcade races, I still encourage people to enjoy with joypads. But sim races, or simcade races as the snobs of the sim racer community like to call Gran Turismo, definitely really benefit from a good control scheme. I see what they mean with the simcade thing, because Gran Turismo does have a lot of features that make it feel more obviously gamey than other stuff that's out there. Like things like the music tracks and some of the sound effects and some of the modes you can play in and the way the game structure works and that sort of thing. It's a lot more gamey than something like, say, Project Cars or Assetto Corsa or something like that, but I like that. Oh, I'm struggling with this one. Could this be our first loss? Oh! 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 I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm actually stuck. Get off. Oh, I was actually in second place there. No, I'm not. That was only the second checkpoint, though. Oh, I see. The rank thing doesn't update until you cross the line for a checkpoint. Right, out of my way, you. Stop hitting me and making me grind to a halt. That doesn't seem very fair. Yeah, I think this may be the end of our journey. That's okay, though. I've had a good time. At least I'm not dead last. For now, he says. Losing control, somewhat. Well, that is that, I guess. We did not qualify. Try again. Alright, we'll go. So you can pick up where you... Alright, we'll have one more go. We'll see if we can beat this track. If we don't do it this time, though, it's all over. This is where I immediately get 3 miles ahead of everyone else and win easily, isn't it? Whoops. Yeah, tricky old course, this one. Doing okay, though. We're not exactly miles ahead, but we are maintaining a lead for the minute. Good. Round the wibbly wobbly bit. Carefully. Oh dear. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. So many corners. But that's it. I think this course is a good example of how the control scheme really shines, just because the way you sort of snap to the direction the road's going, just like you do in World Rally. It makes driving around these corners a lot easier than it looks. As I can imagine watching this footage back and going, how on earth are you responding to those corners that quickly? But it just feels natural. Because there's just enough assistance given to you by the game. Uh-oh. That you can make it around these corners without too much difficulty, but there's also scope for you to make mistakes as well, as you can see, if your timing's a little bit off. But for the most part, this is a game that wants you to succeed, I think. There we are, much better. Right, on to track 10. Oh, it's another icy one. I don't think the ice actually affects the handling at all. I just now have negative associations with it. You seem to have 2 in each environment before moving on. Whoops. Out of my way, insect! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, no. Not standing for this. Alright, there's still plenty of race left. Still plenty of race left. All I've got to do is get ahead of this guy. And this guy sucks because his car isn't even pink. Unfortunately, he is a bit faster than me. Which, sadly, is more of a deciding factor in road races than the colour of your car. Under most circumstances. No! Get out of my way! Oh no! I think it's all over. Come here. Come here. Let me through. Let me through. Let me through. Oh, no. Well, I think we'll leave that there for now. You get the idea. This is how this game goes on, and it just goes on and on and on for however many tracks there are. I think I finished this once, but I can't remember how many tracks there were. But anyway, if you just fancy a bit of racing with no real point to it, then Racing Fever, definitely worth a go. I encourage you to check it out on the Pico Interactive Collection 2 cartridge for Evercade. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.